Okay, so today, let's take a deep dive into something that I think can be a little bit of a mystery for a lot of people. Hard inquiries on your credit report. You know, those little notes that sort of pop up after you apply for a loan or a credit card. And today we're going to kind of unpack what they are, how they affect your credit score, and most importantly, what you can do about them.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people, I think they find hard inquiries kind of confusing and a little scary. But once you understand them, you can really take control, of your credit.
Exactly. So to get started, can you just break down for us what a hard inquiry actually is?
Yeah, so I think it's helpful to understand the difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. So a soft inquiry, this is like when you check your own credit report or, if a lender pre-approves you for an offer, those don't hurt your score at all.
Okay, so those are the good guys. What makes a hard inquiry different?
So a hard inquiry happens when you actually apply for credit. So this is like a loan, a mortgage, or a credit card. When you apply, the lender pulls your full credit report to assess, your creditworthiness. And that pull gets recorded as a hard inquiry.
Got it. So it's not just like browsing for rates or pre-qualifying. It's actually taking that step and saying, yes, I want this loan.
Exactly.
Got it.
And lenders really look at hard inquiries to get a sense of your overall credit behavior.
Okay, so now I'm curious. What kind of signal do multiple hard inquiries send to lenders? Is it really as bad as some people make it out to be?
So it can be a red flag for some lenders. They might wonder if you're taking on too much debt. Or are you in a financially precarious position? You see, each lender has their own specific algorithms for assessing creditworthiness. And some might be more sensitive to multiple hard inquiries than others.
That makes sense. I guess lenders don't want to see you just like desperately trying to get credit from any source possible. This makes you seem a bit risky.
Precisely. It's all about how lenders perceive your financial stability and how likely you are to repay the loan.
Okay, so let's say I've got a few hard inquiries on my report.
Right.
What does that actually DO to my score? And how long do those inquiries even stick around?
So the impact of hard inquiries varies. It depends on the scoring model and your overall credit profile. But in most cases, a single hard inquiry will only lower your score by a few points. And the good news is they don't last forever. Hard inquiries typically stay on your credit report for about 2 years, but their impact on your score diminishes significantly after the first year.
2 years, okay. But does that mean I should be freaking out if I have a few hard inquiries from applying for different credit cards or loans recently?
Not necessarily. You have to remember that lenders understand that people shop around for the best rates, especially for things like mortgages or car loans.
Right, that makes sense. You don't just want to accept the first offer you get, but would applying to multiple lenders for the same type of loan hurt your score?
That's where the concept of rate shopping comes in. So when you're shopping around for a mortgage or an auto loan, multiple inquiries within a short period, usually between 14 and 45 days, are treated as a single inquiry for scoring purposes. This is because credit scoring models recognize that you're trying to find the best deal, not necessarily taking on a bunch of new debt.
Oh, so there's like a built-in system that kind of recognizes you're just being a savvy consumer.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right. You can shop around, get the best terms for you without, worrying about tanking your score.
Right.
But of course, it's still wise to, be mindful of how many applications you're submitting and to space them out strategically.
Right. So it's about finding that balance between being informed and not, going overboard. What about those times when you see a hard inquiry on your report and you have absolutely no idea where it came from?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not uncommon to find a hard inquiry that you don't recognize. And it could be an honest mistake, Maybe a company pre-screened you for an offer without your explicit consent. Or it could be something that you just forgot about. But it's always worth investigating, especially if you suspect it might be a sign of identity theft.
Oh, identity theft. There it is. Everyone's like, worst case scenario when they see something fishy on their credit report.
Right. Understandable to be concerned.
Yeah.
The good news is you have the right to dispute any unauthorized inquiries that are on your credit report.
Okay. So we don't just have to sit there and take it.
Yeah.
What are the steps involved in actually disputing an inquiry?
Okay. So first, you need to identify which credit bureau is reporting the inquiry. So is it Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion? Each bureau has their own process for filing disputes, but generally you can do it online, by mail, or over the phone. And you'll need to provide some basic information about yourself and the inquiry that you're disputing.
Okay, so if it turns out that a particular lender, DID, pull my credit, without my permission? Should I contact them directly as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always a good idea to reach out to the creditor. Ask for an explanation. They might have made an error, or there could be a misunderstanding that can be easily cleared up.
So contact both the credit bureau and the lender. Got it. So what happens after you file the dispute? Do you just kind of wait and see what happens?
So it's essential to follow up. The credit bureau has a certain amount of time to investigate your dispute, usually around 30 days. They'll contact the lender to verify the inquiry. And if it's determined to be unauthorized, it will be removed from your report. So just keep an eye on your credit report. Make sure it's been resolved.
Right. So being proactive is key here. We can't just assume things will automatically get fixed. Now, let's say that the worst case scenario happens, and I find out that I am a victim of identity theft. What steps can I take to protect myself beyond just disputing inquiries?
So if you suspect identity theft, you need to take immediate action to secure your credits. You can place a fraud alert on your credit reports, and this will require lenders to take extra steps. To verify your identity before extending credit, you can also consider a credit freeze, which prevents new creditors from accessing your credit report altogether.
A credit freeze? That sounds pretty extreme.
It is a drastic measure, but it can be very effective in preventing fraudulent accounts from being opened in your name. You can lift the freeze temporarily if you need to apply for credit yourself.
Okay, so there are definitely options for protecting ourselves if things go wrong. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive today, what are the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember about hard inquiries?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid of them. Hard inquiries are a normal part of the credit system. They only have a minor and temporary impact on your score. Just be mindful of how often you're applying for credit, especially in a short period. And if you see something on your credit report that you don't recognize, don't hesitate to dispute it. You have the right to ensure that your credit report is accurate and reflects your credit history.
Yeah, it sounds like knowledge is really power in this situation. The more we understand about hard inquiries, the less intimidating they become, and the better we can protect ourselves.
Exactly. It's all about being informed and taking control of your financial well-being.
It's all about understanding the system and using it to your advantage. We don't have to be afraid of these hard inquiries. We just need to know how to manage them.
Absolutely. And one of the best ways to do that is to check your credit reports regularly. You can catch any errors or unauthorized inquiries early on and take action to correct them. It's like, a financial checkup. You want to make sure everything's in order.
Oh, that's such a good analogy. Yeah, we go to the doctor for regular checkups. Why not do the same for our credit?
Right. And, especially knowing that these reports are such a big part of how lenders see us.
Right, exactly.
Your credit report is essentially a snapshot of your financial health. It tells lenders a story about how you manage your money and how responsible you are with credit.
So if we just keep those reports clean and understand how things like hard inquiries work, we're already in a much better position.
You got it. Knowledge is power when it comes to your credit. The more you understand, the more confident you can be in making those financial decisions.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've demystified those hard inquiries, learned how they impact our score, and even explored what to do if we see something we don't recognize.
Right. We even touched on some strategies for minimizing their impact, like, taking advantage of that rate shopping window and being strategic about when you apply for new credit.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know all about hard inquiries, what's one action you can take today to make sure your credit report is truly reflecting why you and your financial goals? Maybe it's checking your report for the first time in a while. Maybe it's setting a reminder to shop around for rates the next time you need a loan. Whatever it is, take that step towards owning your credit and feeling confident about your financial journey.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep those credit scores healthy.
If this podcast helped you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep making these videos. Thanks for watching.